Greetings to everyone. Louis Horvath seems to be in his automobile. Yeah, you're muted, Lou. You're muted for right now. Okay, we have let's see, 12 of us on board. Want to wish everybody season's greetings. I'm sure everybody is thinking about that and getting prepared for it. I think tonight, maybe we could, unless somebody else has another suggestion, someone recommended we reminisce about Christmases in the seminary, and I would guess that would have to be after novitiate or from novitiate on, because prior to that, I think we all went home. And then maybe, depending on time, folks might want to share how you all are spending your Christmas and New Year's holidays. You can see that I'm sitting in a beautiful outdoor patio of Lavadia Palace here in Yalta. I'm really not. The weather is not very nice here. It's raining. It's getting cool. And that's one of those virtual backgrounds. So let's see. Now I think we're up to about 13. Larry Tice just joined. Let's see what we have here. Bob Wechter is in there. Going across the board. Yeah, Brian Cody, Bob Clark, Kevin Leafy, Bob Grimala. I don't want to miss anybody. Phil Olson is with us. Let's see. Kevin Leafy, Bob Zahn, Mike Beener, and Louis Horvath. Are you driving, Lou, or did you pull over?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, I'm parked. I'm parked. I learned my lesson from walking in the silo in the New Baltimore, Pennsylvania. So I'm parked.
Oh, that's funny. See, somebody just said, oh, Art Hill, he's with us, but he says his speaker's not working. He'll disconnect and then reconnect in just a minute. Whoops, I don't want to do that. I just want to close the chat. So let's start with Phil Olson. Good to see you checking in here tonight. So how are things up there in Massachusetts? And do you have any recollections of how Christmas was spent in the seminary?
No, I left before novitiate, and I also left before the fire. I enjoyed listening to the session that you all had, where you all reminisced about the fire and so forth. But for I guess the other Christmases, like you say, I probably went home. And but things are fine here in Massachusetts. I had a nice family party with my several of my siblings on Saturday. We were going to have a party here with my children this coming Saturday, but one of my sons tested positive for COVID, even though he had been double vaccinated. He tested positive. Fortunately, he's fine. He just had it, for a few days, bad headaches, but probably would have been worse had he not been vaccinated. But we all have to still deal with that issue.
Okay.
By the way, I only see 11 of us. I don't see Larry Tice. You said there's 13 of us that have signed in.
Yeah, I thought I saw Larry. No, I don't see him up there. It beeped and it said Larry Tice had just checked in. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully he's not having issues checking in. Okay, we'll come back to you, Phil, and we can talk about how you're celebrating Christmas. And I'm sure this
Sure.
whole thing with COVID is going to affect an awful lot of people and a lot of events during the holidays, as they already have. So let's see, Mike Beener, you're in here. Come on. Did we lose Mike too? No, Mike,
Oh,
turn
he's muted.
turn your mic on. You're muted.
I'm muted.
You're muted, Mike. The little down on the left, the microphone on
There
the
you go.
left. There you go.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Well, the 4 years that I was in the seminary, obviously I went home. I went home each time. And I had some memories from that. I remember the first time we went, there were so many of us from Chicago that I think we had a whole car of us from Chicago, and we played poker, about 4 different kinds of poker. And also we're smoking cigarettes like they're going out of style. I think I found out how they became addictive for some people. That was like one of the 3 times in my life. But it was kind of funny going over there. And I remember that my brother and I, we used to play little games with guns, not real ones. And he and I, and here I am, I'm years old, and he and I are on shooting at each other, killing people, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I wasn't too mature back then. But let's see, other Christmas memories. It's been a little hard for my wife because she likes to be around family at Christmas, and we just can't get on a plane now because of some of her health problems.
No,
About
I'm still
so
I'm hearing it.
one of our kids out there, but
I'm hearing the conversation, but I can't get back in it.
you hear okay, guy?
Yeah, go ahead. If those of you that are not speaking, please mute your microphones because we're getting some interference. Mute your microphone. Mike, go ahead.
So that's I have 4 children, and we always try to get together. So this year, instead of doing it at Christmas, where things are likely to go wrong and making a transfer to another airplane, we reserved a big house down in the Finger Lakes area of New York State, and all of our kids from around the country and our 10 grandchildren, we're all going to be together for a week. So as long as we have that once a year connection, that's great for us. So that's what we're looking forward to this year. So Merry Christmas to everybody.
Okay, we'll come back to you. I can just see that I think Art Hill and Larry Tice checked in. So they're with us. Let's go down to, I assume, sunny and warm Arizona with Bob Clark. Unmute your mic, Bob. Unmute.
Okay, now I'm unmuted.
There you go.
Greetings to everyone. Good to see all of you. It's a rainy day here, and it's only 62 degrees, so it's kind of cold here today. But you get used to the cold when you come to Tucson, Arizona. So it's good to see all of you. This is a little bit of a bittersweet time of year for me. My younger brother, Paul, he was 11 years younger. He died on last year on December 15th from COVID. So he had COVID, but he had other medical complications. I may have mentioned this before. So that makes me a little bit sad. He's gone with us for about a year. And, being 11 years older than him, I remember helping my mom and dad when I was 11, 12, even kind of taking care of him. So, and when my dad did die, he kind of looked to me as a father figure. So, but then on the brighter side, I have been helping my son and his wife. They had last year, in May last year, a little baby girl, Ava Marie Clark. And I had to kind of step in, and his wife was ill, and I actually was taking care of my little granddaughter, Ava Marie, and I had forgotten how to take care of babies. So I had to get some help for a while, but I got quite good at it. I'm kind of like I'm kind of like a father and a grandfather to her. We have a lot of fun, and I've had her here overnights, not last night, but the night before for a couple nights. And I enjoy taking care of her. Uh, she's a sweetie, of course. And thinking about, I remember particularly at Hamilton going home, and I think like Mike was saying, the time was too quick, and I smoked a lot of cigarettes when I was home and met with a lot of my old buddies from the neighborhood down in Newark. We were down, they used to call it down neck where we lived, so kind of the neck of the city. But it was good to see my, brothers, my two sisters and my brother, and was had a good time, and seeing some old friends, and it just went by too quickly. I mean, we had some also, I'm Polish descent on my mother's side, so we had Polish food sometimes. It was kind of a halfway Polish Christmas as well as an American Christmas. We had eggs and kielbasa and żurek and gołąbkis and all that kind of stuff, which I love. And I enjoyed it when I was working in Poland as well. In Niagara, I mean, we were there in Niagara. We didn't go home, as you guys might recall. So I remember the good food. We had good food, all the Christmas trees, the ornaments, but particularly what sticks in my mind is all the wonderful singing that we did in Niagara. Matter of fact, I'm still in my local choir, and we've been busy lately. Last night I was there. We were practicing for all of the Christmas services. It kind of reminds me of being at Niagara. And then we're doing a Tazai service as well. I'm involved in that as well. It's a special singing service that'll last about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And we sing, and it's a beautiful ceremony. So we're doing that on Thursday. But that's kind of, I think the reason I'm in the choir, it reminds me so much of Niagara as well, and all the singing that we did there, and all ornamentation in the chapel. It was just beautiful. So just a few thoughts there.
Okay, great. Thanks, Bob. It's interesting to hear the recollections that we have on so many different topics. Let's see. Brian Cody, you're up next. Take it away.
Yeah, I don't have any recollections whatsoever of being around at Christmas time. I wonder if that's because I usually went home, because I only lived 70 miles from Niagara. So I think I was an escapee at the time, and I went home. I remember the Christmas tree in the church or in the chapel, but I don't recall being around for any of the Christmases at all for when we were at Niagara. Even in Whitefriars Hall, I don't remember any Christmases there either. Again, probably because I went to some good friends of ours' house at that time. So I don't know, maybe my brain is just gone, or maybe it's anti-Christmas, from old times. But and I like, Bob, what you were talking about, the practicing with the choir, because Mary Beth and I are heading up to Canada this coming Sunday. We won't be around for our parish celebrations, even though she and I have been in charge of doing a lot of the pre-planning and scheduling of all the stuff since we don't have a pastor. But well, that's just kind of the way it goes. But it's funny how I don't remember being around at Christmas time. Maybe somebody else remembers me leaving, going home for Christmas. I don't know.
Okay, Brian, we'll come back to you for what's going to happen this year. Bob Clark, I was going to make a comment. Your singing service is going to last an hour and a half to 2 hours. I went, wow. Here in Russia, for Christmas and all the major holidays, Christmas Eve will be a ceremony that'll start at midnight and will go till 4 o'clock in the morning. That's a little much for me.
Yeah, that would be much for me. We obviously, our services aren't that long, but they can go a couple hours. And that Tazai service, which is really not so much to do with Christmas, and I think it comes out of I could be wrong, incorrect about this. I think it comes out of Europe and maybe the Mediterranean, but it lasts for a couple hours, and it's some readings, but mainly singing of different hymns and verses, mainly in English, some in Latin. So it's interesting, very touching.
Oh, I can imagine. Okay, Guy Gramala, it's over to you. Unmute your mic. Your mic is muted. No, you're still muted, Guy. We can't hear you. It's the little microphone down on the left. Okay, Guy, we're going to come back to you. We'll come back to you. Don't worry. Let's go next to. Oh, there you go. All right, you saved yourself just in the nick of time.
I know. Don't ask me why. I don't have much to say either. As far as the Christmases, I remember in the Novitiate, we all stayed. Nobody went anywhere for Christmas. The following year, I really have no recollection if we traveled or not. I pretty much think we stayed in Akron. Afterwards, after getting assignments, I'd be fortunate enough to be close enough to home to be able to travel, or my mother would come and visit me. So that's about all the recollections I've had.
Okay, great. Thanks, Guy. Art Hill, I think you're in there now. I hope you are. Are you there, Art?
Okay, I'm unmuted. Yes.
Oh, wow. I thought you weren't going to make it.
Oh, I'm here. And I had to drop off first because sometimes it doesn't honor the mic in my camera and I have to restart. So, hey, Merry Christmas to everybody. And it's great to see you all again. My God, these reunions are amazing. I'll give you, I don't remember a lot about Christmas. I remember the decorations in Niagara, and I remember certainly the chapel and the tree and all of the decorations that went on inside and out. But I'll just give you a little quick picture of what it's here in Croatia. And this is a country that's 84% Catholic, but it was socialist until the 90s with Yugoslavia. And so the big deal here is the lead up to Christmas. It's the Advent celebration. And although there are traditional Advent ceremonies with the lighting of the candle, the wreath and everything, but the Advent time is one of big displays outside of lights and parties and civic or city events with concerts and everything going on. So it leads up to Christmas, and certainly Christmas Day and week are part of it. But in the socialist era, it was much more common to celebrate New Year's. And all of my friends are kind of looking forward to Christmas, but oh boy, wait till you see New Year's, so with the fireworks and all of the celebrations and everything. So just a little flavor of another world here. And again, heavily Catholic country, but celebrating based on a tradition that goes back many decades, but it still lives today.
Okay, Artie, thanks. It's good to see you. You mentioned New Year's was celebrated quite a bit, maybe even more than Christmas. That's a fact here in Russia. Of course, our Christmas on the 25th is not celebrated in Russia. Theirs is January 7th. But the big holiday that they love to celebrate is New Year's, and New Year's Eve is like different sections of town are firing off their own fireworks. It goes on for another hour or 2 hours after midnight. It's really incredible. Okay, Louis
Just
Horvath.
one note, Regis, for Bob, and that is that one of the biggest pre-Christmas events are the concerts that are conducted in the cathedral and in the churches, and everybody sings or has a part in them, and it's really it's a beautiful series of performances.
Okay, Artie, great, thank you. I can see Son Joyce just entered. I'm going to let him in. And Lou Horvath, let's come over to you. And you're parked on the side of the road somewhere in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm central Pennsylvania. I'm in the car and I'm parked. I'm using my new iPhone. Can you hear me?
Oh, very well.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm using my iPhone Pro Max 13 I just got this past week. So it's really good. I thought two things. What I remember about in the seminary in Hamilton and Niagara is, if I do recall, even Niagara, the midterm exams were in January. So we had to spend a lot of our time during the Christmas holidays studying for those nasty exams, if I recall that. Is that correct? Even in Niagara. So that kind of disrupted the holiday. This holiday, I'm heading down to Baltimore, Maryland. My daughter and her husband, they just had a new baby. And is about 2 months old. So I'm going to be spending about a week down there celebrating the holidays. And I may have to log off early, but I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I really enjoy these monthly get-togethers. So that's my story.
Hey, Lou, thank you so much for checking in with your iPhone there or whatever you're using on your way down to Baltimore.
Yeah.
You're a real true warrior. Thank you. Okay, Sean Joyce is in there now. So Sean, what we're doing is we're sharing our recollections of Christmases in the seminary, novitiate on. So come on and take it away. Turn your mic on. I can see you, Sean. I think, go ahead and take it away. Can you hear me? Hello, Sean. Okay, we'll come back to Sean. I don't know, he's got an issue there. I don't think he can hear me either. Kevin Leafy out there in, well, I think you're in Tucson, Arizona. Take it away, Kevin. Turn your microphone on. Your microphone.
Okay, I'm in Phoenix. And it's
Oh,
warmer here than Tucson.
that's right too. I'm getting a little confused.
So it's 71 here.
Oh, terrible.
But so Christmas is different in warmer weather. It's just a whole different feeling. But as far as the seminary goes, I don't remember a whole lot about Niagara. I remember the decorations and stuff, and I remember the table where we put all the food that people sent us, and we put it on this big table down in the rec room. I remember that. Novitiate, we had something that we did at the cave. There was a cave in Novitiate, and I think it's where we kept the cider at some time. But I remember Humphrey had a whole thing about finding the cave or something like that about Christmas. So I remember that. Other than that, I don't remember too much about Niagara. And then after that, we went home. But as far as what I'm going to do this year, I have a friend down in Alpine, California, San Diego. So I'm going down to her house, and then there are friends coming over to her place. And actually, one of the people is going to come over. I don't know if any of you ever remember Brandon Shea, but he was principal of Joliet for a while, and he was pastor of St. James in North Hollywood. But anyway, he left and got married, and he's died. He died about 7 years ago. But his widow, his wife, is going to be there too. So a bunch of us that worked at St. James are getting together down in San Diego and going to celebrate Christmas together. So I'm looking forward to that. And after that, I'll go up to North Hollywood and Encino and visit people up there. So that's pretty much it. One thing I do remember a lot was, I spent 18 years in Peru, and up in the mountains of Peru, everything is Christmas Eve. The Christmas Day is just a regular market day. but everything was Christmas Eve. And, we had the mass and people out did all their eating and everything else on Christmas Eve. And then in one place I was in Tocroyo, those who were going to be in charge of feast days during the year, they were in charge of having people come to their houses, and they had dancers and stuff like that. Kids would be dancing, and we would go from one house to the next all Christmas Eve after midnight mass. And there'd be hot chocolate and champagne or whatever. And that was really a memorable Christmas, spending my Christmases down there. That's about it.
Okay, Kev. So how many miles have you logged in this past year? You've been all across the country and back and forth and up and down. Do you keep track of the mileage?
Oh, I don't know how many miles, but I this coming year, I just turned into the other guys in the house where I'll be most of the year, and I'm going to be away months and months. I'm spending a month in Mexico City, spending a month in El Salvador, accompanying the guys in the seminaries, and then a month in Leavenworth, Kansas, taking Glenn Snow's place. Well, he goes on vacation. So I'm going to be all over the place again this year too.
Boy, I don't know anybody that travels as much as you do, Kevin.
I don't know. Some of you guys do. I'm
No,
sure.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Well,
Anyway,
you're over there in Russia talking to us, for God's sake.
Yeah. Okay. It's really great to see you always. Let's go now down to Larry Tice. Turn your mic on, Larry. Larry, your microphone is muted.
There it is. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
So it's interesting that people are having a hard time remembering Niagara, and I share that. I don't remember any particular events. Maybe it's because it was maybe just 1 year and then we started going home. I do remember novitiate, and there was we redecorated the recreation room, and I remember my project was to create on the top of a huge table like a small town with sparkling lights and snow made out of cotton and that sort of thing, with a church and a steeple and so on. That was my little contribution that year, but really don't remember too much about Christmases in the seminary. And how many years were we at Niagara for Christmas?
It would have been 6th, 7th, and 8th year.
The whole, I thought at some point we started going home for Christmas.
8th year we went home after the fire.
After the fire.
After the fire. Okay. Well, I was only there for 2 then, and I have no present recollection of them. And usually my memory is pretty good about things like that. But by the way, the Taizé community, or Taizé, is a French community of monks, which is very appropriate for this group, founded many years ago, which is in Burgundy, and it's well known for its music. That's its music of unity and peace. So just a little bit of tidbit there, because people were talking about Taizé earlier.
Okay, great, Larry, thanks. Mike Beener was asking if anybody else is having issues with the audio portion of this. It's been perfect here on mine end. He sent that over in a chat message. So I don't know if it's just on his end, but everybody else is coming through very, very well. So next on the list is Bob Wechter. Bob, take it away.
All right, I got unmuted easily. Can everybody hear me?
Oh yeah, look at you. You got a tie on and everything. Would you just come from court somewhere?
Yeah, I had a meeting out of the outside today, and I just got back, and so I didn't bother dressing down. I thought I'd give you guys a little treat.
Yeah, thank you.
I missed last week or last month's meeting, and I wasn't at Niagara at the time of the fire, so I didn't really know a lot, but you guys did a hell of a reporting job. Goodness, all the clippings and everything. I was shocked how devastating it was. I didn't realize, seeing the pictures of the fire and all that, how bad it was. And the transition to Marquette after that. And of course, some of you guys had the issue with the credentials and all that. But wow, it's just kind of like, fire. I talk about an arsonist among your midst kind of a thing. Gosh darn. And I got the impression there were some other fires either before or after. Does anybody, 2 or 3 small fires that were found and stopped? But was that after it couldn't have been after the main fire. It had to be before, right?
After.
No,
Yeah.
it was
they-
after.
What was after? Oh,
Mhm.
okay. I thought it'd be caught. No, obviously, if it had been before, it would have been a big red flag, I'm sure. But anyway, wow.
It was after, but before they identified the perpetrator.
Right.
Mhm.
But
Yes.
yeah, but yeah, that would have been a big heads up. A couple of 3, 4
Hmm.
fires sticking around, jeepers. Anyway, let's see. I was, of course, at Niagara. I was at novitiate and 1 year post novitiate at Niagara. I have no memory of Christmas. It's like it didn't happen.
Wow, that's
Um,
incredible. Hardly anybody can remember.
It's been a long time, so give us that fact a little bit. But yeah, I don't even remember the Christmas tree. What at novitiate, I remember, because I wasn't in novitiate with you guys. I was in novitiate with Sean Joyce's class. I had come back after 1 year after high school. I had 1 year at Purdue, and then I called Murray Phelan, and he said, "Oh, come on back, no problem. Where have you been?" And so I went back for 5th year with, and then novitiate with Sean Joyce's class, and then back with you guys in the educational class, and then I left again. But about the only thing I remember at Christmas time in novitiate is the one that when I was there, they shut down the turnpike because of a snow day. And I at least went down the walkway and went down walking on the turnpike. When they closed it down, no traffic at all. But that's the only, and I'm not sure if that was around Christmas time or not. It was winter, of course, because it was snow, but I don't remember anything else about Christmassy stuff. We're going to Palm Springs here. It was kind of a funny story. My wife's sister lives in Escondido by San Diego, and she rented a place for Thanksgiving for a pretty good sized gathering, but one of the main participants had emergency surgery. So that was all canceled, but she couldn't get her money back. So she has to go to another place and salvage it. So we're going there the weekend before Christmas, and then coming back here for Christmas weekend and Christmas Day and having a meal and stuff here at our place. And that's a Christmas plan. We've done that for the last 2 years. Today it's, I don't know, Clark said it was a little bit of rainy. Here it's windy and rainy, our first big rain of the season, our second rain, but our first big one. So it's chilly, and I got my rain jacket on, so to speak. I still have it. So I'm sure Arizona will get some rain after we get it. They typically do. My brother lives in Tucson. Bob, you're in Tucson? Yeah.
Yes.
Are you in Tucson? You're in Tucson? You're muted, Bob.
You're
You're
muted.
muted.
Bob,
Bob Clark, you're muted.
turn your microphone on.
I'm trying to get it back. We got on now?
Oh, there it is. There it is.
I was saying, I live in a skilled nursing care community just outside of Tucson. So, Tucson's about 20 miles south of me here. So.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
My mom and
We got-
dad retired. My mom and dad retired to Tucson back in, when was it? 70s, 80s, something like that. So I've been to Tucson, and my brother lives there for 20, 30 years. So I've been there a lot. And matter of fact, I was there during a monsoon and visited Sean and Regis, was it at South Point, 1 August or something. I remember it was a monsoon, and I hadn't been in a monsoon before. And I got my mom and dad's car and drove to South Point and got out of the car, and it was raining. And of course, the sides of the roads are all the gutters, and I had stepped in water a foot deep, and I was shocked. I said, what the hell? This is how they take care of the monsoons in Tucson. That was my first experience in a monsoon in Tucson. But anyway, I did visit Sean, and I believe you, Regis, at the time. Were you both there together?
We were there for a year together, so
I'm not,
Yeah.
what year was that? What year would that be? What year would that have been?
I got there in 1975 to 82, I think it was.
Okay. Anyway, those are on the time.
Next
All right,
time you
that's-
come out this way, we'd like to we'll get together. Come on out.
Oh, sure, right, great.
Yeah.
What city, what's the name of it?
It's
I may have
called
heard of it.
it's called Saddlebrook. It's
Okay,
just, South Point is in Pima County. I'm just across the line in Pinal County, but it's not that far. It's
right.
Kevin, about a 35-minute ride from my house.
My brother lives in North Tucson, up by the mountains area there. So yeah, you're close,
Okay.
be close. All right,
Up in the
that's
foot-
my
in the
recollection, guys. Okay, it's great, and wonderful getting together monthly, even just to bullshit.
Yeah.
By the
Okay,
way, in addition to the Arizona and Southern California weather, Colorado just set a record, going 232 days without snow. We had our first snowfall deep into December, just a few days ago. So people in Denver are true believers in climate change. They're saying that this could be the future here, because by this time, we usually have had snow in September, October, and November, and sometimes, up to 20 inches. And there wasn't even a trace until about 3 inches last, I guess it must have been Saturday. Yeah.
We have, right where I live is the most southern ski resort in the United States, and they've already had snow up on Mount Lemon, and you can go up there and ski. So, and the difference in the temperature is we're, warm here and it's cold. It might be when we're 60 here, it could be 35 up there and snow.
Our resorts are tearing their hair out because they don't have snow. Yeah.
We got lots of snow because I was watching it before, looking at the mountains. So.
okay. Let's go to Bob Zahn. And I think Sean Joyce has checked back in. So we'll go to Bob Zahn, Sean Joyce, and then I'll share a little bit. Bob Zahn, take it away up there in New Hampshire. You must have snow up there in New Hampshire.
Well, we had it and then it all melted, Reg.
Whoa.
It's been very mild,
Hmm.
unusually mild. We've been up, we've had a few cold days, windy days, and then it's gotten up into the 50s. So all of the snow is melted.
Hmm.
My pond in my backyard still has some ice on it, but most of the snow is melted on the the grass. So I agree with Larry Tice that we definitely have global warming. What actually is causing it, I don't know, but we definitely have a problem with a change in the atmosphere. So my recollection, it seems to me at Hamilton, even though we went home, we did the night before we all departed, after lights out, I can recall them playing something on the loudspeaker, some sort of a Christmas, maybe it was the Christmas Carol or something. I remember listening to that, laying in my bunk and listening to the Christmas Carol. I don't know if anybody else remembers that. And I believe it was the day before we went home.
Yeah, I remember
And then,
that.
you remember that?
Yeah.
And then I don't recall how I got home. I don't know if I took a bus or my parents picked me up. And then I can't remember if in the first year at Hamilton, if we went home for Christmas or if we had to stay there.
No, we went home.
We did. Okay. I have no memory for that at all. If we went home and how we got home and, whatever. And then I do, what's that?
I was going to say, Larry may remember, and Mike, the Chicago guys, that was the longest train ride I've ever taken.
We took the train,
Chicago-
that's right.
From
Yeah.
Chicago to Hamilton or Boston and then Hamilton. I'm not sure how we got there, but I remember that was a very long train ride and you had
And it
to
was
go.
and our car was
You're
the
up
most
for it.
smoke-filled car on the train. 'Cause everybody would get cigarettes and the place was deadly. Yeah.
I remember Skip Tezak on the train too, for some reason.
Hmm.
All right, Bob, go ahead. Do you have any more to share? Bob's on.
Yeah, the other thing is, I know that we had to stay for Christmases from the novitiate on, but I have no recollection of what we did for the Christmas holidays. I do remember somebody mentioned about having to study over the Christmas holidays. I remember that. And then the only negative thing for me was when I went out to teach at Mount Carmel in Chicago, all of the priests and brothers were going home for Christmas, and I had to stay there. I was ordered to stay there and not go home, and that kind of was a negative thing for me at that time, I recall. But I don't recall what the Christmases were like at Niagara.
Okay, Sean Joyce has been in and out, and he's not in right now. So I'll share a little bit of what I remember. The one thing I remember leading up to Christmas at Hamilton was Emmerich Carmody, I think, used to have a choir. And we were, I think, going to do a performance for, I don't know who, but I couldn't hold a note for anything in my life, but he insisted that I get in there. And I remember singing all these classic Christmas carols, and it was really really nice, and I'll never forget that part of it. Now, I do have some recollections of Christmas at Niagara. I don't have any recollections of Christmas at Novitiate, none. I don't know why. Like, a lot of it is lost, but I do remember that Christmas dinner at Niagara was really something else, very special. I don't remember what it was, but I do remember that. I remember the recreation room was decorated, and it was, some of the older guys maybe were 7th or 8th year were in charge of that. I do remember the table that was full of pastries and sweets that we were gorging on. And I think it was Joe Piva. I'm not sure, but as he was eating another piece of chocolate, he said, "Here's hoping it comes out on my back," meaning, a zit. And I'll never forget that. It's always connected with that table. I also remember that I was sitting with a few guys, and we were opening, I think, each one present that we got from home. And I don't remember what I got, but I really distinctly remember that sitting down in that rec room. Anyway, in Rome, Christmas was crazy. We used to have a Christmas tree, and it usually was on the side of the recreation room. You have a big recreation room with a TV, and the Spaniards would pull the tree out away from the wall, put it in the center of the room, and then they would sing and dance all around the Christmas tree. This was a tradition we had, and I think most of us Americans thought, well, okay, we've had enough. We're going to go up to our little recreation. And we had wasn't really our recreation, but it was a little kind of library we took over. And basically, after the midnight mass, which lasted forever, or most of the time we went to St. Peter's for the Pope saying the midnight mass. But the big thing was we would go to our little recreation room, our little enclave, and we would drink. And I think the only time in my life that I was so drunk I couldn't walk was one Christmas morning after all of this. And there was my Irish classmate and my English classmate. They were walking on each side of me, and maybe they were kind of trying to hold me up. And Art, you'll remember Redemptus Vallebeck. He was our rector, in charge of, the frats in Rome. And he heard the noise of us coming down the corridor. I don't think we were being too quiet. And he saw me I was really drunk. They were holding me up and he says, I'm going to send you home in the morning. You're done here.
That would be redemptus, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was one really powerful memory that I had from the time over in Rome. Sean Joyce is still not back. Art, you had mentioned something about the falls being illuminated at Christmas. Was that just Christmas or was it all the time?
They had different lights on them on different time for seasonal things. And I thought I remembered red and green and gold for Christmas. I might be completely making it up, but it just seemed to me that we went quite a distance from the falls, like on the Canadian side, and looked back, and it was American and the Horseshoe Falls that we could see. And there was always huge blocks of ice on the railings because of the mist. And it just froze on the railings and made them spectacular, really.
Yeah. Okay, so
they had the lights on at Niagara during the summertime, May, June, July, and August for the tourists, and then usually middle of November to the middle of January for the Christmas season.
Aha. Okay.
But they did have the blues and the greens and the reds specifically for Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian. I now I have more confidence in my memory.
Oh yeah, it's still there.
yeah, it's interesting. We can all seem to remember certain things from the past, but sometimes I can't remember 5 minutes ago and where I put my cup of coffee down. Okay, so we're going to go back to the top again, and this time the topic will be, how do you anticipate celebrating Christmas and New Year's this year? So Phil Olson, you're still with us. Take it away.
Okay. Well, like I said earlier, we were going to have my three children that are local and their children here for a nice celebration next Saturday, but we've had to postpone that because of my son having COVID. And we're now scheduled to have that the day after Christmas on the 26th. Meanwhile, we're celebrating with the community here. I live in a townhome community, so my wife is very social, and she's invited like probably 25, 30 people are coming over this Thursday for a get together. And she's got the house all decorated top to bottom, and we'll have a good time. So and then last Saturday, of course, I was with some of my siblings. I'm the oldest of 9. There were 5 of us that were there. My other 2 sons are in the West Coast. Vicky and I flew out to visit my oldest son, who lives in California, first week of October. So we had a good week out there with him. And my other son, Zachary, in Portland, Oregon, he and his wife spent a couple of weeks here, in August. So it's I mean, I'm sure all of you that have kids and they're all scattered around the globe, so it's that type of thing. Growing up, families, everybody got together. Nowadays, because of all of the distances, it's hard to get everybody. It seems everybody only seems to get together for maybe funerals. So that's
yeah. Phil, I want to interject this, and you can be the first one to respond. Several people here that are with us tonight have been talking about celebrations coming up. I've been reading where in some places in the States, the size of parties and gatherings has been limited and extremely limited. Can each of you, and Phil, starting with you, is that something that's happening in Massachusetts?
Not yet so much in Massachusetts. New York City's got some real restrictions because of this latest Omicron variant. But to that point, the Archdiocese, starting next Sunday, has mandated that we all wear masks again at church. I think that's through at least until January 7th. So it comes and goes. It's up and down. It's hard to keep track of all the different mandates. And of course, the media loves to follow all the people protesting the mandate. So, you kind of get a one-sided off, off the wall approach from what the media is reporting. But no, there's not too many other restrictions at the moment here in Massachusetts.
Okay, great. Thanks. Mike Beaner, take it away. I know you're there.
It just muted.
You're
Okay.
muted. There you go.
We have
Mike, hang on. Mike Beaner, are you there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you hear or not?
Oh,
Yes.
there you go. There you go.
Okay. We have 4 kids spread all around Michigan, Colorado, Kentucky. Fortunately, my son in Kentucky didn't get hit by the tornado. And we have a son in Brooklyn, and he went through a divorce, and we got 3 beautiful grandchildren, and he's going to come up with the kids, so we'll see them, and we have a bunch of presents for them. The other ones, we're going to try to FaceTime it and watch them open the presents, which will be neat. For my wife and I, we try to go to there's something special about going to midnight mass on Christmas Eve that I like, so we're going to do that. My wife and I have for quite several years now, we take a chunk of money that we think we normally would use for a present for ourselves for the other, and we pick a charity and we give it to that. So, and this year the Red Cross, I was watching the thing about Kentucky, and apparently they're just desperate for helping the people that got hit by the tornado. So we just wrote our whole amount out for them. So that's it for us.
Okay, back down now to Tucson, Arizona. Bob Clark.
We're gonna have a nice Christmas, but it's not gonna be as it's gonna be quieter compared to previous years, because as I probably mentioned, my wife has Parkinson's very badly, and she's pretty much bedridden, and she can't she always was such an active woman. She ran choirs. We have a grand piano here. She doesn't play that anymore. She used to play trombone. So the Parkinson's has severely afflicted her. We have lots of decorations. We have lots of Santa Clauses and Bob Cratchit statues and Tiny Tim, but we're not going to be doing any of that this year. So far, I've been able to, it does have lights on it, etc. So we're going to have on Christmas Day, we'll have something. I'm preparing a meal, and we'll have my son. His wife is away, as I've mentioned, so he'll be here with little Ava and his son Nemia, and my daughter will come over with her 2 little ones. My daughter moved here about 6-7 years ago. She was in Chicago, and I thought they were going to move back perhaps to California, but her and her husband, and frankly, they're now divorced. She's going to get remarried in February on my birthday, supposedly, she tells me, to a very nice guy. But they're going to come here for Christmas morning. And as I said, so my daughter will bring my granddaughter Emma and my grandson Luke. So we'll have the 4 grandchildren here, my son and my daughter, and my sister-in-law is staying with us right now. She's trying to be of some help, but it'll be a nice Christmas. I'm very involved again, as I mentioned before. I'll be doing a lot of singing over the Christmas holidays here. As I said, we have the Taizai service. I got the thing out here. I got all my music in here that I'll be doing that on this Thursday. And then we're singing on the 18th, and of course through Christmas as well. So it'll be a festive season, but a little bit subdued.
Okay, well, thanks, Bob. Now let's go over to Brian Cody.
Yeah, I mentioned a little bit earlier that my wife and I are going to be going up to Canada for Christmas. Knock on wood. We hopefully going to leave here this coming Sunday and make it as far as Niagara Falls. My brother and his wife live, spend a couple of days there, and then head up to London, Ontario, which is our common destination now. We have really, really good friends up there who have 3 kids, and they're like our grandkids. And we stay with them for about a week. and then come back to my brother's place and then back here again on the 29th. So it's a lot of traveling, but it's hopefully it's going to be safe traveling. We have to follow all of the regulations for both Canada and the US to go across the border. Right now, it's more trouble getting into Canada, but it's not that difficult as long as you do the paperwork. Do the paperwork online. We did this once before in August when the border first opened up, and we did all the paperwork. We got to the Canadian border, and within 5 minutes, we were in Canada. Very little to do. When we came back to the US from Canada, about 3 minutes. They asked us for nothing. It was really surprising that they didn't ask us for anything, just our passports, just regular questions. I presume this time they're going to be a little bit more strict with the Omicron variant, but we're looking forward to spending some time with them and as safely as we can. Just do all that we can. We're both been vaccinated and boosted. Everybody we're going to see has been double vaccinated. So we'll do as best we can with what we have, but it's going to be nice just to do some traveling in the footsteps of Kevin there, but not as far.
Okay, Brian, thank you very much. Guy Gramala, coming back to you. You need to turn your microphone on. Dadgummit, that thing's hard to find.
Alt A.
Okay. Guy, when you get it figured out, just, jump in and we'll come back to you. Art Hill, over there in Pula, Croatia. Did Art leave?
No, he's there. He's
No.
talking, but his mic's not.
Christmas here is similarly, Christmas here is similarly constrained by some of the national barriers. For several weeks now, Austria, Germany, Slovakia, several other countries have been virtually shut their folks off from traveling anywhere and having people come in. But there's a COVID certificate that you can show. It's got a QR code and it's completely automated. And that means you can show that if you've had your 2 shots or and booster. So, I don't plan to travel anyway, to go anywhere. We got an invitation from the Rotary Club in Austria to go skiing. But frankly, with Omicron, it's nobody's great desire to take advantage of that. But otherwise, we'll have family parties here. I have a close friend whose daughter is coming in from London, and then others are just. We had a kind of a practice run the other night with some food with friends. And I have never seen so much sausage, cheese, vegetables, and all native and grown locally here. And it was wonderful, too wonderful. But hopefully we'll be able to take that as a trial run and be a little more careful with how much we eat. But it's going to be a very nice Christmas with families.
Okay, Artie, great. Thanks very much. Kevin Leafy, you were telling us a little bit about what you had planned, but do you have anything else you want to add? Jump in.
No, that's pretty much it. I'm going down to San Diego and I'll spend some time down there with friends, and then Escondido, and then up to the San Fernando Valley, then back here.
Okay.
So nothing more than I said before.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to just pass over you. Larry Tice, you're next.
We're going to have all of our children here, which is always good. My daughter coming in from Marin County, California, and my son coming in from San Antonio, and then the other daughter and the other son live here. We're going to have on the 21st, before the 2 other children get in, we're having a Yalda evening, which is an Iranian celebration with an Iranian family. I have to admit, I hadn't even heard of Yalda before this year, but it's kind of like a Hanukkah and Christmas in Tehran. And so we're going to be fixing dishes, Persian dishes. And then on Christmas Eve, we'll have actually our big meal on Christmas Eve, and then a little more modest meal on Christmas Day. But looking forward to it.
Okay, great, Larry. Bob Wechter.
I mentioned a little bit about the fact that we're gonna, sprint over to Palm Springs for 3 days of the weekend before, and then come back. And of course, Christmas is Saturday, so it's a nice Saturday, Sunday weekend gathering here. Tree is up, lights are on, eggnog and rum, and fix a meal. We always have a decent meal, and not too many people, probably about less than 10 or so. So, and again, the mandate, it's a difference with mandates versus COVID and mandate enforcement. California just statewide, as of tomorrow, put together a mask mandate for all indoor gatherings for 1 month, December 15th to January 5th. Whether that's enforced or not, I doubt.
Is that a mandate, wearing masks indoors?
Yes. That's a statewide mandate to, as of this morning's newspaper. LA County has always had a kind of a mandate. You got to show credentials to get into a restaurant. Of course, you get in, you wear the mask, you get into the restaurant, then you take everything off while you eat. So I'm not sure what the, pluses and minuses of that procedure is. But again, California is what, 60, almost 65% or more inoculated. So it's not that we don't have as big of a surge as the national averages are in other parts of the country. NPR just had a bid on this morning about Colorado's hospitals are all maxed out with COVID patients. That was about a 5-minute thing I heard. I was in the car this morning listening to that. So, I mean, there are certain parts of the country, Minnesota, I think in Michigan, et cetera, that are a lot worse than other places. Other than that, I'm still trying, I want to avoid large crowds. I don't necessarily want to go to a concert or a game or anything like that, any stadium or, it's kind of asking for it. Particularly when a recent headline I saw, of all 800,000 deaths in the US are 5, so bars, I guess, take care of yourself.
Okay, Bob, thanks very much for that update. Let's go back up to New Hampshire where they don't have any snow, maybe for Christmas. Bob's on, take it away. So you know what? I think Bob.
Boston or something.
I think Bob's on. No, he's still there. Bob, take it away. Turn your microphone on. Turn your mic.
Probably a bathroom break is
all right. Okay, so I don't think we skipped anybody. Sean Joyce has just sent me a message by email saying he had internet connectivity interruption problems, so he's not with us.
Guy is back up with a microphone
Guy's
on.
back on.
Oh, okay, good. I was going to come back up. Guy, go ahead.
Okay. Well, for us, fortunately, all the kids are in the same general area around the Milwaukee area. And I guess a year or two ago, we found a nice deal. My daughter owns an arcade, which is kind of nice. So what happens there is, my wife and I, all the kids get together and we have our big meal there. And the fact that the arcade is right there, the kids have a ball, all those games, etc. So that's pretty much what we've been doing. It's a big holiday, so nobody gets stuck with, say, having to cook a big meal or anything like that.
Nice.
Okay. I can see Bob Zahn is still here, but he's got his mic and his video muted.
Off. Yeah.
So I'll share a little bit of what's happening here. As I mentioned earlier, Christmas, December 25th, isn't celebrated here, but we're going to celebrate it here. My friend, the person that I'm renting a room from, her parents invite us over for all kinds of celebrations, and they're going to do something special for our Christmas on December 25th. I'm not sure that I'm going to go to the midnight Orthodox service. but I may go for an hour or so. And the way it is in these Russian services, people come and go. They talk during the ceremony. The kids are running around. They're playing. It's just, and everybody stands. There are no benches, no pews, nothing. So to hang in there for 4 hours, I don't know how these do it. I really don't. But I think just maybe out of the spirit of it all, I probably will go. Here in Russia, in terms of some proposed government mandates for vaccination and QR codes, has been tremendous resistance. So people are not out in the streets, although up in Siberia, I saw a television report where there are people out protesting. Less than 50% of Russians have been vaccinated. The majority of people just do not want it, and that's the Sputnik vaccine. Just about a month ago, I think the government mandated that people had to get vaccinated or they would lose their job. A couple of our friends that we know personally did not want to take the vaccine, but they couldn't afford to lose their job and not be able to put food on the table for their families. It's estimated that there's like several million people across Russia took the vaccination involuntarily. They have mandated QR codes, but a friend of mine in Moscow today told me that they're not being enforced anywhere. I did see a report, and this is hilarious. Apparently, some people took QR codes, pictures of QR codes from like a refrigerator or from a store or even some poultry. And when they were asked to show their QR code going into an establishment that required it, they picked it up and they showed that QR code, and they don't scan it. They said, okay, you can go in. Myself, I went to this big electronics store. I needed to pick up a few things. It's my favorite store, actually. And outside, there was a podium and it had two signs on it. One of them said mask required, and the other one said QR codes. And so I didn't have either. And so I kind of waited a little bit. And this guy that was there, also taking your temperature with one of those thermometers, he kind of turned away to go have a smoke. And I just went into the store and did my shopping and come out and bypassed it that way. A lot of places here are going out of business because of the QR codes. Mom and pop shops, stores, a number of restaurants, two of our favorite restaurants, not part of chains or anything. We went this week to go see if we could have something to eat, and they're both closed because of the QR code mandate. It's looking to be, I don't know how to say this, not very promising for what's happening in Russia. The State Duma, and it's the Russia Unity Party, which is basically Putin's party, have proposed legislation to mandate the vaccines and the QR code beginning in January. And I can't tell you the blowback, the pushback on social media. People are angry. They're losing confidence in President Putin and in the government. So I don't know what's going to happen. And then I just read today in the Moscow Times, it's an English version, that the government is also considering passing legislation that all expats will have to have a complete medical examination 4 times a year. And you have to submit all kinds of paperwork. You have to pay for this complete medical examination. And then you have to pay the state the equivalent of like $50 just for them to process the paperwork. And you have to do that 4 times a year. I can't imagine that's going to pass. I think there are too many foreigners here, foreign businesses with literally tens of thousands of people who are not Russian expats are going to have to comply with that law. So I don't know. Now, in terms of Russian Christmas in January, the celebrations are huge. They're big family events. The women spend probably a week preparing all of the food, the fixings, everything for this Christmas meal. And it lasts it'll last all afternoon. They start sometime around some early afternoon and it'll go all afternoon. And of course, the tradition in Russia is there are toast, and there's toast after toast after toast, and you get this shot of vodka. And I'm not accepted yet as a Ruski because they just shoot it down, okay? And I just sip on it. And so I use the same little shot glass for like 3 or 4 toast. And then I have it refilled. But I have to tell you, doing it this way, there's nobody that gets inebriated. Absolutely nobody. And of course, the Russians love their champagne. They have champagne for all kinds of occasions. Russians in general, and I know for sure people here in Crimea, I cannot believe the number of liquor stores here in Yalta selling high-end wines, local wines, selling champagne and liquor. And I don't pay attention to the liquor anymore, but Crimea is wine country, and the people here, they must be consuming a lot because these stores are the busiest stores right now. And guess what? None of them require the QR code. I found that interesting.
Reg, if I could ask, what's the feeling about Ukrainian border and this Russian soldier?
Well, I hate to get into too many things political, but
Well, I mean, just what's the feeling? What's the
okay,
headlines of the newspapers?
Yeah, don't believe anything you're hearing in the Western media. Absolutely nothing. Russia is not about to invade Ukraine. They do have troops stationed along the border. There are not 1 million of them. That was in response to April when Ukraine, backed by the United States, the CIA, were provoking Russia. They moved their troops to the border and they were claiming they were going to commit an all-out assault to take the Donbass back, including Crimea. And so Russia has basically been on high alert. It does not serve Russia's purposes in any way, shape, or form to invade Ukraine. Ukraine's a failed state. There's corruption, there's political turmoil. The oligarchs there are fighting for power. Why would Russia want to go in and intervene and take back that country or take responsibility for it? So that's the feeling of people here in Russia. It's really not even covered. Russians don't take this seriously. I don't know. I was a little bit concerned and very concerned because if it did end up being a conflict, direct conflict between Russia and the United States and NATO, that would go very, very bad very quickly. And it probably would go nuclear and that would be the end of things. So that's basically the situation. Here in Crimea, people are happy to return to Russia. Russia did not invade. Russia did not annex it. Crimeans voted in a referendum where 85% of the people voted and 97% of them voted to return to Russia. So life here has really improved since 2014 when that coup happened in Kiev. And people are pretty happy. The economy has come back. The agriculture has come back. The wine business has really exploded. So anyway, anybody else have any comments or anything you want to talk about before we sign off?
Bob Zahn is back on.
Oh, good. Thanks for noticing. Bob Zahn, I think you turned your camera and your microphone off. Now you're back. Take it away.
Yeah, I had to pay attention to my BPH. So that's why I left for a minute.
Okay. You're forgiven. You're forgiven.
Thank you, Father Regis. In terms of Christmas, my wife and I are spending time with one of our daughters and her mother, and on Christmas Eve. But Christmas Day, we'll probably just spend it ourselves. We like to do that, open presents under the tree, and then just have a nice dinner and pretty much have a quiet Christmas. So not much going on here for Christmas Day.
Let me guess, you're probably not hoping and wishing for snow.
Well, I don't mind seeing a little bit of it, but I can't ski anymore, and I got rid of my snowmobile a few years ago. So I like to see it, but I don't like having to clear it. So yeah, you're right. I don't want to see too much snow.
Okay. Anybody else want to jump in?
I hate to make anybody jealous, but I was skiing in 6 inches of snow 2 days ago. I think it's melting now, though. Gore Mountain up in the Adirondacks.
Well, you can come on down to Tucson and snow because there's Mount Lovin.
When I was at Tucson, we took a vacation there for 2 weeks once, and there's a long 9 mile or so drive that circles the mountain going up, and I experienced that change in weather. It's really beautiful. Tucson's neat. It's like a huge city, but it seems like a small town almost.
Yeah, I remember the years that I spent down there in Tucson. Mount Lemmon, which is what Bob Clark was talking about, always had snow. And the kids used to drive up there in pickup trucks, and they would fill the back of pickup trucks full of snow, drive it down the mountain, get down into Tucson and build snowmen and have snowball fights. I went with a group of kids that are on my journalism staff, and so I witnessed that one year, and it was crazy. They're not accustomed to snow, but they love it to go get it up on Mount Lemmon. Anybody else?
Yeah, just a note that when we lived there for 4 years, we went up to the rim, Mogollon Rim, where there was snow pretty much all winter, and we went and got a Christmas tree from the forest. We got a permit to do that, and we put it up on top of the car. But trying to get back, half of the forest roads were blocked off. So as we tried to find our way back to civilization, it took us about 6 hours just to get back to Tucson. And I was so blasted by the time we got back to the garage that I opened the garage door, drove in, and forgot to take the tree off the roof. So we had a wonderful welcome home with this tree sitting in the driveway.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, so
That's great.
Brian? Oh, you know what I was
No,
going to,
that's fine.
Bob's on. When I gave him the forgiveness, they waved across. And I think, is Kevin still there? Yeah, Kevin is still there. But Brian, you and I are the ones who left. And I want to know, has anybody ever called you Father Davis or Father Brian and still considered you to be a priest?
No. Although a lot of people in the parish wish I were, because since we don't have a pastor, and for Sunday we get retired priests to come here. And like I said the last time, we do almost everything. The parish council and the members of the parish, the lay parish, we do almost everything for the liturgies. I just wait for the priest to show up. But other than that, we're pretty much self-contained. So, but nobody's ever called me that, but no one's ever called me back either. So I'd probably be a good fit there because we're very open-minded and do things non-traditionally. But it's good though.
Yeah.
We really enjoy it.
I've had
my brother John and his family were in Colorado somewhere back in the boonies, and there was a small little chapel or something, and they had a Carmelite priest there, and it happened to be you. So I don't know if he came up to you.
No, that was back in Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Oh, maybe it was. Yeah.
And there was this little log cabin chapel in the middle of the woods, close to, I forget the name of the lake. And a Saturday night, one mass and two on Sunday, and they were all packed. And I do remember that your brother came up
Yeah.
and said hello. He had his family with him. That was Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Oh, okay. Thanks for refreshing my memory.
Yeah.
I had a question for Reggie and for Brian. If the church ever agrees to married clergy, would you folks go back to practicing as priests again?
No.
No.
Probably not. I would probably go back and celebrate Eucharist, but that would be about the only thing I would do, because so many priests in the area are so dead, that they have no expression when they're celebrating the liturgy, and that just ticks me off. I would like to go up there and do something, but probably like Regis, no, I wouldn't go back full time.
Reg, I had two patients. One was a physician, and I asked him that question, if you could be a priest, what would you do it? And they both said yes, they would. Hopefully they have some money saved up to do something like that. It's not going to happen anyway.
I've had 3 unique cases when I was in South Korea filming a documentary back in, God, I don't know, it was 2011, 2012. And I was staying with some Irish Columban missionaries in Seoul. And the Sunday before I was going to leave, there were 2 of the priests that said, well, we're going to have mass this morning in our little chapel. And, there might be 1 or 2 people there, but would you like to come up to me? And I said, yeah, okay, sure, I'll go. And then they asked me to come and concelebrate. Now, they knew that I was a former priest and a Carmelite, and I deferred. I said, I don't feel comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
The same thing happened. It was about less than a month earlier, down on Jeju Island, where I made this documentary. It was during a typhoon, and they were having mass in this little peace center, and this old Korean priest who'd been an activist for most of his life, arrested many, many times. He and 2 or 3 Jesuits were celebrating mass there. There were a number of people. They too asked me to come and concelebrate with them. And they said, you're still a priest. In our eyes, you're still once a priest, always a priest. And I have to tell you, here in Russia, I don't make it a secret that I was once a priest. I had many good years, and I'm glad that I was there and I did that. In Russian Orthodoxy, priests can get married. And so it's a common thing. And sometimes I've been introduced in different gatherings and people say, well, tell them about your background. You were a Catholic priest. And everybody says, you're still a priest. And I found that very interesting. Conservative Irish priests from Ireland, I thought probably would be the last ones to offer. And certainly here in Russia, where at first it was kind of a surprise, but when I thought about it again, that for them, it's a natural thing for their priests to be married. And, they do consider Roman Catholic priests to be validly ordained. They just basically don't accept Rome. So it's kind of interesting. Okay, well, this has been another delightful one, guys. I think everybody kind of appreciates these little gatherings, and we had a pretty good group tonight. We'll do it again after the new year. I'll wait till things kind of quiet down a little bit, and then we'll schedule it again. So for now, Christmas greetings, happy holidays to everybody.
Merry Christmas, right?
Christmas, everyone.
Christmas, everybody. Yes.
Good to see everyone.
You bet.
Good to see everybody.
Bye now. Same here. Bye-bye.
Bye.